yesterday's class, we tried to import the 3D models. We tried to design a 3D model. We applied some textures, some materials to the 3D models, and we created a parent and child relationship of the objects. And not only that, we started our first steps by applying the start method and the update method. So today, what we're gonna do is we try to introduce different behaviors, different properties, different functions. So it's like a fun game. So we'll be trying to do that. Okay. So what I do is now I create a new scene. And that's yes. So I'll just create a new scene. So either you can go from here, create a new scene, name it as a VR game. For you, it's up to you, whatever you want to name it. So whenever you have this new game, so again, the Unity will give you the main camera and the direction light basically. So once it's done, so this game is about a shooting game basically. So in a shooting game, generally, before designing the game or start building the game, we need to have this design document basically. In this design document, you need to write what's introduction, like what is this game about, what are the characters will be there, what are the players will be there, who is the enemy, and what will be the speed of the ball, and what ammunition he have, all this stuff regarding this. Coming to the technical details, you need to specify which category of a target group you are focusing your game or your application basically. So it can be a mobile game, it can be a desktop game, it can be a console game, or and in this you need to mention what features of is it like it can be playable a multiplayer, or can be a single player, or it can be played from mobile to desktop, desktop to mobile. All these features you need to mention in this technical design document. How much minimum RAM should be there, what will be the maximum RAM, and how. So all the specifications and all need to mention. So I'll try to share a sample technical design document. So at the end of this session, so maybe you can go through that. How we write this game design document. So here, today's in the game. So this is basically a simple shooting game. So basically, there will be a player, and you shoot the bullets, and there will be an enemy. Once the bullet hit the enemy, either you can destroy that enemy, or you can say this many number of points. Once the bullet hits, this many number of points you won. So you can say like that. So first thing today, what I want to tell you about is about the documentation basically. So Unity has a very good documentation. So so this is the site for this docs.unity. This is the documentation basically. So in this documentation, there are two things. One is manual, another one is a scripting site. Manual means it tells about all the different components and their classes, methods, all available in that particular component. Scripting means there's only classes of that particular component. So if you look at this, see Unity user manual. So if you click here, these are different the components available in the Unity. So components are nothing but they are just behaviors. So if we click on this main camera, so camera is a component, transform is a component, audio listener is a component. So same thing, if you want to add same kind of a behavior to any of the game object, see, you need to click on this add component, and you can see there are different components here for AR, audio, effects, event. So these are all like available here. The same thing you can see in the documentation here. So all these components related documentation you can see here. So like this, if you click again, you'll have a different classes and different methods. All this about the documentation is very good, especially in Unity. This is very good documentation, and you have a each class you have an example with you have example given of the in the documentation itself. So you can just go through and you can use the same code also, change according to your logic. So here, so this XR is for our VR. So this is a plugin which we'll be using in this game. So what this XR is, and under this umbrella, basically what all comes: virtual reality, mixed reality, augmented reality. So don't be confused with mixed reality and augmented reality. Basically, mixed reality. This is a term from the Microsoft. Some people they call this also augmented reality, but from Microsoft team or technical team, they call this as a mixed reality. They don't call this as augmented reality. So it's just a name difference between the names, how you call it, but the technical wise everything is same. There's no difference between these two. Even this is also they'll superimpose your digital content in the physical world. It's the same thing, but you interact with it. It's the same thing. So here is a good documentation, and here this is the scripting side. So in the scripting sites, if you go, you have these two things. One is a Unity engine and Unity editor and Unity. So these are different namespaces. You can see in our code. So whenever we open the code, first thing what we do is we say this using Unity engine. This is namespace. Namespace is just a grouping of different classes and the relation of the objects, you can say. So again, this Unity engine, you have another different namespaces. So in detail. So here. So this is where you can find all the methods or classes or namespaces. All this is where you can find it in the Unity engine documentation. So docs.unity3.com is the site where you can get the full documentation. Suppose, and there is a very real shortcut also. Suppose you added some behavior. You want to have this documentation of the camera, component of camera. So in the next to it, there is just like reference to that. So can you see this? There's a question mark here. So if you click this, it will go to directly to the document page. So it will say, hey, this is camera, about what the camera exactly and what are the features it has, what properties have, all these things you can get it with the examples. If the same thing you want to switch to a scripting side, just click on the scripting side, it will directly take you to the camera classes. These are the properties which are available in this. And these are methods. Okay. So let's start our game. So the first thing what we do is, based on our requirement, because this is a shooting game, so we need to build the environment first. We need to create the environment. So in this, and when we are trying to create the environment, so what we need a place or a ground to play this game. So we first create a ground. So let's say go to 3D object and it's a plane. So make this as a ground. So ground is generally at 0, 0. So just make it to reset. You can see this, the ground. Next thing is, there are two ways of playing this game. So it can be a first player, we call this as a first person player, or third person player. Third person player means you can see the person playing the game. You'll be standing, you are like somewhere sitting or somewhere in the view, you'll be watching the game. Here, another one is the first person player. First person player means you yourself are the person who's playing the game. You yourself is the player, basically. So you don't see yourself. So that's the camera which is playing the game. So we'll do this first person camera now. So now you're already the player, so that there is already a main camera here. So we don't need to create another one. So next thing is we need to create a bullet. So click on the sphere and first thing rotate and make this size scale to 0.5 to 0.5 and 0.5. Control S. So I'll just name this as a bullet. And one more thing I want is the enemy. I have a player. See, instead of main camera, also making this as a player. Also, it's up to player. I just make it as a player. Just make this as me. And let's make this as a player. So I have a player, I have ground, I have a bullet, and I need an enemy. So enemy will be my cube. So I'll also reset this one and I'll say this as a enemy. Control S. So now I created the environment. So I have a player, I have a ground, I have a bullet, I have enemy. So you can now let's take the bullet. Let's add materials to all this stuff. So let's first create a material so that we can differentiate. So I want to have a ground material, There's already ground material here. Oh, there's already a here. So yesterday I created it. So I'll try to use the same material. Instead of this thing, I try to use some grass. So there's already a grass inside this. Yesterday I did it. So I use this grass. The same ground material I applied to my ground. I applied to my ground like this. Okay. So it's up to you whatever you want to have. So the next thing is a bullet. So I'll create another material for a bullet. So create a new material. I created a new material. I rename it to bullet material. And I just put some color. Maybe this one. And I apply to my bullet. My bullet is here. So right now, yeah, I'll just put it here. So now this is my enemy. So I'll also put some materials to enemy. Map. Maybe I'll put another one. I'll put this one. So this is my enemy. So I'm the player. So you don't need to apply to the camera because you are yourself is a player. So now I'll try to bring it forward to view control S. So if you look at this, you can't see the ball. You can't see the bullet because it's too high. So now you can see both. So this is my ground, this is my enemy, and this is my bullet, basically. So I just create it. See. So I'll put maybe my enemy somewhere here, like this. Like this. So bullet in the middle, enemy here, I'm standing somewhere here. So now I just create an empty game object and saying that this is an environment. Environment. Controllers. I put the ground bullet enemy as a child of the environment. It's not mandatory, but I just want to make it like a group, like it looks easy, clear. So now if you look, when I play this play button, I only see enemy. I see a non-movement of a ball or bullet, and I see it here. So now what should I do? I want my bullet to move or to do something. So here comes one of the behavior is the physics. So whenever you put something in the air, it will automatically falls down. So if you want such kind of a behavior, then we use the component name called physics. So if you look at here, this is a very important component which we use most of the time in different applications and all the stuff, especially in industrial or in any military or anywhere you want to pick an object and throw, or you want to pick and see something. So this is where you use the physics behavior, physics. I just want a manual physics. So if you click on this first one, so it says, hey, use physics settings. These are settings. So in this is the first property, the gravity. Use X, Y, Z set the amount of gravity applied to all rigid body components. For realistic gravity settings, apply a negative number to the Y-axis. Gravity defined in the world, and all these things already given. So how to add a physics? In this physics, you have this rigid body. In this rigid body, so in this physics, you have this gravity, all these things. So I'll try to show you how to add a physics to the bullet or the gravity to the bullet. So click on this add component and go to the physics here. And inside that, you have this rigid body here. Can you see this? Rigid body. So in the rigid body, if you see, there are different properties again. Mass, drag, angular drag, gravity, is kinematic, all this stuff. So if I see now, if I play the game, now automatically my ball will fall down. So now you see the difference. So whenever the physics behavior is applied, then automatically, because of the gravity, it will fall down. See this. Yeah. So suppose I want to create another one. I'll duplicate and I'll create another one. and put maybe one on the top of another, like this, and I go and try to play the game. See that once they collide to each other, like two marbles going one other side, another one this side. Same happens in our physical world. Same thing happens, right? The same thing here also. So this is the behavior of the physics, basically. Play 3, one more, like this. I press play. See this. Suppose you have a huge mass. Suppose my bullet 1 has a huge mass. So automatically, see this, I applied huge mass, means heavy weight. So this is just stick to the ground because of heavy mass. It just went and stood there. But the rest, it went rolling, the other two. So the drag is nothing but friction between how much friction you want. Angular drag is whenever you're trying to rotate, how much friction you want to be. Suppose you don't want to use the gravity, then uncheck this button. When you uncheck, there is no gravity applied. See this, my ball still floats. So my bullet still floats in the air. So when I apply the gravity, it will fall down. So this is a bullet. So now I have 3 bullets here. So now what if I want to generate bullets? See, think this is a game where bullets keep on generating. So whenever you want, you just need to click, a bullet should come out. But here you have only 3 bullets. What happens if these 3 bullets are done? So how to generate more bullets? So let's do it. So let's delete this. So there's a concept called prefab. Prefab is nothing but a cloning system. So suppose you want some kind of a object, which suppose take this example as a bullets. Bullets, whenever you keep on firing, it's the same thing. It's the same color, it's the same weight, same structure, same, it looks everything same. So in this case, you don't need to keep on designing the same thing. So instead of that, you can just make this bullet, drag it and drop it in your project window. Once you drop it, this will become a bullet prefab. You can see this prefab. Now it's changed to blue in color. Even though you can delete here, it doesn't delete. It's still in the project window. So you can just drag it and you can apply it here. Okay. So this is called prefab. Prefab is nothing but cloning of the system, cloning of that particular object. So now I delete, and with the help of a script, I generate this game object whenever the script runs. Okay, so now let's create a bullet. So I'll create a script saying that bullet spawner or bullet creator, you can get. It's up to you. So same thing. So in this bullet spawner, we need to, first thing what we need to do is we need to take the reference of the object. So how do we get the reference of the object? So in Unity, by default, whatever the variables you are assigning are private until unless you add public before it. So I'll show you. So Now, even the game objects, the classes also are here a different type of variables basically. Here, as you're defining in other programming languages, it's an integer or it's a uh, what floor, it's a decimals or char or a string. Same thing here also. Game object is also a type basically. So just say it's a game object because bullet is a game object, and you need to define that variable. You need to give that. You need to give the name of the variable. So you can say bullet. So make it in a case bullet, or just you can make it a bullet. So now I have a reference type. This is a type. It's a game object, and this is a bullet. This is the name of the variable. So now if I look here, this is where the bullet is. The bullet is here. It's as a prefab. So how do I access that bullet? So just add public before it, and the difference. So bullet spawn and create an empty game object. Make this as a game controller or game, whatever you want to name it. Game controller, like this. And add your script, bullet spawner to it. So now you see the difference. Now you have a small box here. If it's a private, you don't see this box here. See, if I make this as a private, if this is a private, you see once if it's a compilation, you don't see that small box. If it's a public, then it's accessible to from the editor. That's what it says. So now we can see here. So now you have a space to this box.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, how to add a script to the game object? Like, yeah.
Sorry,
Script to the, how to add a script to the game object?
Just drag it and drop it to the game object you want. So here I created a game controller as a simple create empty game object. This is an empty game object like this, create empty, and I renamed it game controller. Then I added that script to that game controller.
Thank you.
Yes. Yeah. So here again there is a small box to where we want our bullet to put it here. This is the reference basically. So the reference is here. Drag and drop it here like this. This is the object. You just drag and drop it here in this box. So now Control S. Now go to this. So now we need to generate the bullet. So let's start from the start function. So for generating the bullet, we use a method called instantiate. So instantiate is a method. So go to here, saying that instantiate. So if you look at this is the method we are going to use. So in this, there are a couple of different methods. If you want to generate from the parent position, or if you want a particular position you want to say, or if you want to have some rotation to that, all these things, they're different here. So here is the example they have given already.
Sir, how you are applying this script to bullet, sir?
No, first thing is there are two different ways you do this. First thing is I'm not applying any script to the bullet. I'm using the bullet to fire. So the fire is a function. I so don't worry, don't get confused. I'm also confused, but just I want to make sure the straightforward is I created a 3D model of a bullet that is round in shape. Okay,
Yeah.
I just made a bullet shape, but from the
Yeah.
script I want to regenerate the same kind of a character or same kind of a model again and again whenever I want. That's what I'm gonna do in the script.
Sir, you are declaring this game object as a public, sir. I also do
Yeah.
the same, sir. But where I can see
Mhm.
this is public or not, you are showing me, sir. So I have,
Yeah. See, first initialize. You
yeah,
define here
yeah. In the script we have
public
done,
game object
and
bullet.
in Unity, sir.
That's it. You don't need to do anything. First, you put this statement when you initialize it. Then, when you go and add to any of the objects, I said yesterday, like you need to add to any of the game object for the script to activate, because script is also a behavior. This is also a
Uh,
behavior. So
One more thing, sir. Sir, here B is capital in bullets, sir, and in the coding it's a small, sir. So it doesn't matter, sir.
no. It doesn't matter. It's just a name. That's it. It's you are getting the reference of this. This is a reference basically. So you'll get understand you once you understand. Once we move like a couple of steps more, then you'll understand what exactly is happening with the code.
Okay, sir. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So it
Yes, sir.
doesn't matter. It's just a name for this. This is a name. We are taking this and applying this reference. We are applying this as a reference. Okay. Don't worry about the names or anything. Because the code only knows this reference, doesn't know what this name is. Okay. So if you
Okay.
want the
Yes, sir.
name on this, then there is another way of doing the reference also, but this is the easiest one for the time being. This is the easiest one. Just drag it and drop it and use the reference of this one. Okay. So now we need to use the method instantiate. This is an instantiate. Whenever you want to generate something through the code, then you need to use this method basically. Okay. So now I use the word instantiate. So it's up to you if you want to use object dot instantiate or just instantiate, because these are all objects itself. So you don't need to put again an object or something like that. Just use the word instantiate. See here, whenever you say instantiate, you will get this. See this object dot instantiate object original vector 3 position quaternion rotation. There are nine methods it's saying here. So it says clones the object original and returns the clone. So that means what? It will take the original object, that is a bullet, and returns the same kind of a bullet. That's what it says, this method. So now use this method, and now just say the name, which in this, the 10 methods. See this. If you click this, it keeps on different methods, you will get the same thing. So the first method we use is the object in dot instantiate, that is like instantiate object original. So object original is, this is the reference for that. We have this reference bullet. So look at this bullet, see that, and end the statement with semicolon. Okay. So instantiate bullet. So now what it will do, it will instantiate the bullet at the whenever the code runs. See this now. Now click on play. Now the bullet is generated. See this. The bullet has generated. I didn't add anything. See this bullet clone. Bullet clone means it's from the script only. It added. Earlier there is no bullet. See in this. Can you see any object named bullet here? Nothing. But whenever you pressed, it created one bullet, because as I said, start function is the function which only runs on the first frame, that is only one time. So whenever the computer came here, it saw this method instantiate bullet, so it runs only once, so it created only one bullet. What if happens if the same thing in the update method? I'm just warning here. Once you press the play button, after 1 or 2 seconds, you see the difference and just stop it, or else your system will get hanged because update method keeps on generating the bullet, so it takes so much resources basically. So yeah. So now the same thing. Yeah, now you see this same thing. I just kept in update function. See this, how many times it's generating the bullets. See this, if you go here, it keeps on generating, it never stops for you. Got it? So in the start function, it only generated once. In the update function, it keeps on generating, it doesn't stop.
Sir, I have
But
written
how do
the
we
code,
control? Yeah.
but it is not showing, sir, just like you, sir. I have done same code, but it is not showing, sir. Bullet
Mhm.
is not regenerating.
Did you
Yeah, I
see?
applied a script on Bullet, sir.
Okay. Sorry. You applied the script, but you couldn't see the bullet. That's what you're saying, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So did you make that bullet as a prefab?
GMT I applied, sir.
No,
No,
no, no.
sir, sir, sir.
Bullet.
Please, could you please repeat, sir?
No, bullet as a prefab. First,
Prefire,
you need
yeah.
to prefab. Prefab is like this. It will be. Okay. Can you show
So,
your?
sir, where we? Yeah, I have to show, sir.
Yeah. Just
Uh,
can you?
sir, yeah.
Yeah. Share it.
Now, sir, this is it visible, sir?
Just a moment. Yeah. Now it's visible. See this.
Yeah,
Now
sir, I have
your
taken.
bullet is here only. So what you need to do is, just a moment. What you need to do is just delete these two bullets. First 1 and 2. You just delete it. You need to switch off the play mode first.
Yeah, sir, I have to
Switch off
delete,
the
sir,
play.
these two. Yeah,
No,
yeah,
no, no. Just
switch
delete
off,
this.
sir.
Yeah, two bullets. Just delete it.
Yeah,
Delete
yes,
it. Yeah. Now, just take this bullet, first bullet, drag it and drop it in the project window.
yeah.
Bullet.
Sir, I dropped
Yeah.
the
Drag.
bullet one. Yeah, yeah, it's here,
No,
sir.
no. That's cool.
In
Yeah, I can see that. Just do this one so that it will be easy. So bullet one is earlier you deleted, right? Already. So yeah.
yeah.
So
So
now you delete this bullet one, so there won't be
yeah,
any confusion.
yeah,
So
done, sir.
now you can delete this bullet in the game and the hierarchy window. You don't need, because we are accessing from the script itself. We are not doing it manually. We'll
Yeah,
be, yeah.
deleted, sir.
Now go to your, where is your script? Where is your script attached to?
Yeah, this is a script, sir.
Yeah, this is the script. I got it. But where did you attach the script to? You need to attach to any particular game object, right?
Yes, yes, sir. This I earlier I attached to bullet, sir.
No, you
Yeah,
don't need
this
to add the bullet, because bullet, we are generating the model and we made this as a prefab. So now
okay.
what
So
you do is create an empty game object, create an empty game object, add the script to this game object. No, okay. It's up to you. You want to, yeah, control. It's up to you. You can put any name. So yeah,
yeah,
now you
done, sir.
add the script. Yeah, now
Yeah,
go to the controller. Click on the controller.
yeah.
See, no, you didn't add the script. Can you do it again?
Uh,
Just drag it and drop it on that. Yeah. No,
it's not coming, sir.
drag it. No, it will come. See, just yeah. Now it's done. Go ahead. Go to the controller. See now, it visible now. So
Sir.
now in the
Yeah,
inspector window, see this. Now you drag your bullet prefab into this small box. Then there is a none game object, right? Drag your bullet prefab. Yeah, drag it and drop it there.
sir, where is prefab, sir?
Here in the first one, in the assets folder, there's a bullet
This,
prefab, right? Yeah, that
yeah.
is one. Drag it and
Um,
drop it there in this box.
here, sir.
Yeah.
Done,
So
sir.
now press play and see what will happen.
What I have to press, sir?
Play button. Play the game.
Yeah, yeah.
See, now it's generating actually. No, it's not generating. Wait, show me your code. There's one code,
Yeah.
public game object, instantiate bullet, instantiate. No, maybe your the spelling is right. Let me see.
Instantly.
Instantiate, INSTA
You have to save the script.
NTIAT. Oh, you didn't save the script. Okay, just save the script. Control S.
Okay.
Yeah, now
Go to Unity, sir.
yeah, you need to go to Unity and play.
Yeah.
Off the
Yes,
off the play mode. Off the play mode. Now again, you need to drag it. See, there's missing. The
Yeah.
bullet prefab is missing.
I have
Yeah.
to, again,
No, no,
sir.
no.
I have to,
No, not again. The bullet prefab earlier you attached
yeah.
maybe in the play
Yeah.
mode.
Yeah.
Just drag it and
Yeah.
drop it there.
Yeah. Done, sir.
Now you press play.
Yeah. So now it's generating, sir.
Yeah. It will keep on generating like that. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Press stop. You can
Okay.
stop it now.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Okay. So here is like now what happens here? Either you're able to generate one bullet or you're keep on generating the bullets. This is not we want. We want whenever we want, we need to generate the bullet. That's what. So whenever the trigger is pressed, we need to generate the bullet. So that's what we should do. So now what we do is, so there are input methods. So input functions, input classes we call. So here, if you go, click search on the documentation, input, like this. Let me put in the scripting, that's much better. So in this class, if you look this one, you have a different input system. Suppose if you are using a keyboard. So these are the here, get key down, get key up are already predefined methods are there. So get key down, get key up. So right now, mostly everyone may be using a keyboard. So if you are trying to use a mouse, if you have a mouse, we can use a get mouse button. So these are input system basically. So now I'll try to show you what we can do. So now it keeps on updating. So what I do is now I'll put a if command, if condition, saying that hey, if input, that means if I press something, then only you do this action. That's what I'm saying. So input dot, it can be get key down. Go to get key down, the down, and this is a method which takes your which key you want to press. That's what it's asking. What is this key code? So key code dot, it can be a up arrow, left arrow, space bar, any of these, all keyboard keys are available here. All the keyboard keys are available here. See this, even the joystick. So now we'll try to use up arrow. So for up arrow, just write up arrow, Control S. See now what will happen. So if input get key down, so whenever I press this up arrow, it becomes true, then it will do this action. It will only generate the bullet. If it's false, it won't generate the bullet. See now, if I go down, press play, see now no bullet is generated here. But whenever I press in the keyboard up arrow, one bullet has been generated. See that. If I press again, it will generate one more. Press again, it will generate. See this. Like this. Now it's everything is in under control. Now whenever you press the trigger, a bullet has been generated. See that. So see here, this is the code for that. This is if input get key down, key code dot up arrow, you generate this bullet. Okay, that's what. So there are different uses also. So if you want space bar, you can use space. It's up to you. Up arrow, left arrow, down arrow, whatever arrow you want, you can use it. So you're done. You're getting whenever you press. So I'll try to show you another key. So this is key down means whenever you press your key button down, then the action will happen. So there is one more key, one more functionality here in the same keyboard functionality is get key. See here, get key. So get key means whenever you touch, you press the button, the action keeps on becomes true until unless you release the key. See now. So instead of get key down, I just press this get key. So see this. What will happen? Get key. Press play. This becomes true as soon as I touch my key, press my key, see this. When I release the key, it becomes false again. Whenever I press, it releases the bullet. So this is a different method basically in the keyboard. So get key up is similarly to whenever you make your key, whenever the key goes up, then it will release a bullet. See now. Only one up. Whenever I release, it's giving the bullet. Whenever the keys goes up, it will generate the bullet. Key down means whenever it goes down, it generates a bullet. Get key means whenever you touch the key, press the key, it keeps on generating. It becomes true. Okay. Please share the link if you have video demonstration. Yeah, I'll try to see if there are any videos. I'm sure. Give me some time. I'll maybe end of the day. I'll try to help you out. Yeah. Okay. Shall we move? So the next thing is, okay, fine. Now you are able to generate the bullets, but you are able to generate the bullets only at a particular place only. There's nothing like you're not moving or you're not saying anything. You're just generating the bullet at the same place. So if you look at this, so whatever the bullet has been generated, see this. If I press up arrow, if I look at my position, see this. It has been generated and it fell down. So all the bullets are same thing. So now what you do, if you want to have a specific location, suppose I want to generate in a particular position, then you can just say bullet, comma. Now you can say this transform parent. So transform means position basically, where you want to. So here, the position will be always in vectors. So always you need to say X, Y, and Z. So how we give the vector values basically? It's always whenever you want to give a new vector type, you should say a new. So new vector 3 and you give the position. So suppose I want to generate at 0, 0 comma 1 comma 0. That means at a height of 0 1 comma 0. So always make sure in Unity, floats means decimals. See, floats means decimals like this. So, or always ends with F. Always ends with F. So here it's saying here 0 F, that it's giving here like this 0 F 1 F. You can see like this. One comma 0 into time dot delta time. And okay, maybe here there are three things. One is this game object, the name of this game object you're instantiating, and this is where exactly you want to instantiate this game object. That's what I'm saying. And into time dot delta time, I'll tell you what exactly, and quaternion dot identity also, I'll tell you what exactly. So if you go here for the documentation, so if you go here, if you look at this, the third one, this is what I kept, this is what the function I referred to. So object is the original, that is a bullet. Vector 3 is a position. So it's a position where exactly. And quaternion rotation. Quaternion means it's basically in Unity, we represent the rotations by using quaternion. Basically, that means you don't need to worry anything about angles or radians or anything like that. Unity will handle all these max calculations and all. So quaternions are generally represented for the rotations. Whenever you want to use a particular rotation. Okay, my object should be in this particular in this particular angle. Then all you need to do is quaternion dot Euler 0 comma 45 or comma 0, something like that. Or if you don't have any rotation, then you just say quaternion dot identity. That means no rotation. That's what it says here. If you look at this, transform dot rotation equal to quaternion dot identity means no rotation basically. If you want to give some rotation, then it will give you this. It will be like this here. So current rotation equal to current Euler angles like this. So you can give all the X and Y and Z values like this. So if you say my rotation dot Euler angle, that means here quaternion my rotation. First there is no rotation, then you are applying the new values. So see here the values. This is what the output will be. Okay, I'll try to show you what exactly is happening in the code. So what is time dot delta time again? There is a time dot delta time which I applied. So basically time dot delta time means the time it took for the last frame to run this update method, run this script basically. So suppose now what happens is like each update method runs based on your different frames. It can be sometimes 60, it can be 90, it can be 120. For the smooth transition of this frame rate, we use this time dot delta time basically. This is the function. So this is the function we use. So the completion of time in seconds since the last frame. So this property provides the time between current and previous frame. So use time dot delta to move a game object in the particular direction and in the per second. So by adding this, it will give you a smooth function. It doesn't vary, because if sometimes if the particular second is some, it can be 60 frames, and particular another next frame it can be a 90 seconds. But if you are trying to add the time dot delta time, the transaction will be very smooth. So I'll try to show the example. So now press play, press up arrow, see that. So I set bullet at, sorry, there is a there is a rigid body. That's, I'll try to shade you without the rigid body, then you see a difference. I want to say, just click the gravity off. Let me just put the gravity off and press play again. So if you look at my bullet position, just a moment, it should be at 0, 1, comma 0 into time dot delta time. So let me show you the numbers here. I'll make everything to 0. So here it's 2.27 is the bullet height. So let me make the bullet to 0, Control S. You don't need to do anything. I just want to show you the numbers basically. So let me put the values. So if you look here, so the bullet clone, so 0.25, 5.3, 1. So now if I debug these values, see, if you want to debug, press dots like this here. So whenever the code is running, it just comes here and will stop, and you can see the values here. So now attach to Unity here and press play. So now it's asking for the code. So now if you look here, so this it didn't become yet true. So let me move forward, see, and continue, and continue. Now if I press, just a moment, I directly come to the value. Up. Now it comes here. Now if you look at this bullet is the bullet.unity game object. See, this bullet is that prefab which we shared. And now if you see this vector values, if I press continue, see this. And if I go here, the vector, it stopped. Yeah. Now if you look these values, so time dot delta time, what will be the time here? So time is 1.03 something. So if you click on this, it will give you all the values basically. Bullet is this much, and this is a vector value. So 0 into times of 1.03 is this thing. See this, 0.009 is delta time. So 1 into 0.009 should give you the value of that y value. So if you look at the quaternion identity, it will be, everything will be 0, 0, 0, 0 here. So let me calculate 1 into 0.009 it took. So that should be 009. And if you look at the space where the instantiated happened, so let me go and see the bullet position. Bullet position should be 0.25, it's showing me. Where is this controller? This is at 00. Bullet on. Bullet is also at 0, 0. Yeah. See, these bullets are moving actually here. Based on the time dot delta time, it keeps on moving because there is no gravity, so that's why it's just keep on moving. Now let me open the prefab. Yeah, 0.5 and use this gravity. Press play. And check. And press play. Yeah. Now it should fall down. Yeah, that's so now it goes up. It will fall down. So this. Slowly, I'm getting that position of the trigger basically. So whenever I press, it's just moving up and falling down because of the gravity. The same thing we want. So we'll add some velocity to our bullet so that it moves a little bit forward and it will fall down. So let's add some velocity to it. So just take this reference now. Maybe you can use this later also. Let's take this reference, just only the bullet. So what we do is, now if we want to add some force to the velocity to the bullet, so where exactly is the bullet? In this bullet, in this prefab, we can apply this velocity in the rigid body. In this rigid body, we have a method called velocity. So if you go for rigid body function method. So if you look here, you have a method add velocity here. You have this method. So whenever you want to add some velocity to this, so what you need to do is rigid body dot velocity is the function, and you need to give the vector values. So basically what in which direction you want to move that object. So now let me show you in the code. So let me first take this first reference, because whenever the game, because this is a game object, I just say bullet reference for bullet reference equal to instantiate bullet. So from this bullet reference, because the rigid body, I need to access the rigid body of this particular bullet. So now you use bullet reference dot get component. Get component is a method, so where you want to access the rigid body of that particular bullet has been generated. So suppose I want to go and collect, I need to access this rigid body, then I need to go to the bullet which has been generated, then I need to go to this component. In this component, I need to add this property velocity. So now just say get component. What the component always have a this left arrow, sorry, left this one and right this one, and you need to say which component, name of the component basically. So it is a rigid body. So it's a rigid body. Like this. So now I took the I accessed the bullet reference. So in the bullet, so the bullet has been generated here. That name is bullet reference. The whatever the bullet has been generated, that's the reference. In that bullet reference, I access the rigid body. So once I access the rigid body, then I need to create another reference to give that velocity. So same thing what I do is now I create another type. Basically, I need to say which type is that. This is a rigid body type, and I just say RB, or I can give it anything. It's up to you. So RB is a type. In that, this is the reference, and in this RB there is a velocity. RB dot velocity equal to. So now you say which direction you want to send. So I want to send, if this is up arrow, I will say vector 3 dot up. You just can say like that. So it's up to you. You can say left, right, or down, or forward, backward. All these things you can say. It's nothing but vector 3 dot up is nothing but the same thing here. New vector 3. It's 0, comma 1, comma 0. This is the same thing. Either you can write it like this, or just say vector 3 dot up. Control S. Now if you see, let's go and see what will happen to our bullet. So now it should go up. So now if I press up, see, one bullet has been generated. See this, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. Same thing, it's moving up. So same thing, I want to do it in all the 4 directions. So what I do is just quickly make this copy paste. Don't repeat the code, but here I want to up arrow, I use here left arrow. Here I just, instead of up, I just say left. Control S. The same thing, I just quickly make it all the 4. Left, right arrow. Just say here right, and left top up, left right down arrow. Just say you have up, you have down also. Instead of that down, I just say forward. Forward is like 0, 0, 1. Control S. So now if I press play, see, I press different arrows from my keyboard, so it will go from, see this, it will generate all in different direction. I'll just put some height so that it will be easy. In the bullet, I'll just put some 1. So now I press play. Now bullet is generated at 1. See this. So in all the direction it's moving. As there is no speed to it, so it's generating there itself. So I'll just, what I'll make is I'll apply some speed to it. Float speed equal to some 10 dot, always floats and should end with F. So like this. So into speed, same thing, into speed. Speed. So let me add. See now, it's moving at the rate of speed. See this, moving forward, backward, left, right, all this stuff. Yeah,
Excuse me, sir.
yeah.
So when I run this, just the balls are just piling up, like it's not moving.
Yeah, it's not moving because there is no speed. So that's why. So if you add some speed to it, it will multiply. So generally it's a vector 3 dot up means what? It's 0, 1, comma 0. So into 10, what will happen now? 0, 10, comma 0. So it will go up to 10. That's how it works.
Okay, I'll try.
Yeah. So instead of this is only for all the different keys I want to show you, like towards left,
Could you
right,
please,
move.
sir, could you please share this in chat menu, this code, sir, so that we can
So
also.
I'll try to share, but you don't need to write this much code. I just want to show it different directions. That's why I wrote this much code, but I don't want all this because here, as a person, when you're trying to shoot, you are always in the forward direction. The bullet should always go in the forward direction of particular which side you are. In that forward direction it should go, right? It's not like you are standing in this direction and the bullet should go the other side. It's not like that. So what this is just, I want to show different key codes, like key buttons. Whenever I press, the bullet should go this side, that side. That's what I want to show. But in general scenario, it's not like that. I just this is just for the, like, to show what exactly will happen if I use this code. So all I need is, now it's always in the forward direction because always the bullet should go in the forward direction. So just make it forward into speed. This is all you need. That's it. These 3 lines of a code. So one thing first, you instantiate the bullet, then you take that whatever the instantiated bullet as a reference. In that reference, you have the rigid body. In that rigid body, you have this velocity where this is a method. In this, what you're saying is which direction you want to move this bullet. So now if you look here, so if you look this, now if I press up arrow, it keeps on shooting this. See this? It keeps on shooting me in the forward direction. So I can generate n number of bullets in that particular forward direction. Okay. So I'll show the code also.
So this movement I'm not getting.
Yeah. So this is the code basically.
I have done
this
the same.
little bit same thing. Okay. So let me see.
I share.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, yeah, because check your bullet position, your bullet position, not here. Go to your bullet prefab. Go to your bullet prefab. See, this is at 1.61 and the Z value 0.95. So make sure your Z is 0. Z is 0. No, and if you want to make it keep as 1. The bullet is fine. Yeah, that Z is 0. Yeah. So that means it's generating at the back. Minus means, yeah. You need to save it. You need to save it. Yeah. Always save the game. Press, and now press the arrow you just kept. Press play and press the arrow. So is it moving forward? Yeah, it will fall down because there is no ground. So this is empty space. So that's why it keeps on falling down. Yeah. The code is working fine. because of the position of your game controller. So that's where the confusion is, but it's working actually.
Okay.
We'll refine the code wherever you are standing, wherever you're seeing that side, the bullet will come. So we'll refine the code more and more. So I just want to show the different functionalities of what are there, and whenever you want to
Sir,
use this.
this
Yeah.
is showing some errors, sir. I'm not able to identify this error, sir. While I am running the code, it is showing some error, sir.
So what is that error?
Sir, it is showing, sir, only assignment, call, increment, or decrement. This kind of error it is showing, sir.
Only increment or
Only increment, comma, call, or increment or decrement, await new object expression can be used as a
okay.
statement. It is,
So can you share me the screen?
yeah, yeah. Sir, this code I was typing. Is it
No, still not.
now is it coming, sir?
No. Now it can. So see this. There's something wrong. So the red means something is a problem. So game object bullet reference. So first in the speed 10.0f. Can you the cursor on the top of that red mark?
Sir, that error is due to the absence of curly bracket. If loop, it does not, multiple statements are there, but there is no curly brackets inside that.
Can you go down? Oh, okay. So in if statement, if there is a single statement, single statement, then you don't need to put that curly brackets. If it's multiple statements, then you need to put that curly brackets.
Okay, now, sir, it's okay, sir.
Yeah. So now can you make it like go down or see? So why speed is not going? Speed 10.0f semicolon, that should be fine. Float.
Assignment operator is not there.
Oh, sorry. You didn't assign the value.
Here, sir,
Yeah.
speed is equals to.
So
sir,
get component. C is a capital. C is capital here. Get component.
Okay.
Yeah. So now it
Now,
works.
sir, I have to save. Now I have to save, sir, here.
No, you already saved, right? See, if there is no star mark on the file name, that means it's already saved. Control S. Yeah. Now you press play and it should work.
Getting some error here. The variable bullet script has not signed.
Sorry. Your voice is breaking, so I can't hear.
Yeah, here at the bottom, sir, while running this, no, sir, at the last line, you can see, sir, one red line is coming.
Can
the
you
variable
go to the console window? Go to the console window. Next to the project window. Console. Yeah.
Yes,
Click on that console. Yeah. So unassigned reference. Maybe you are. Did you add? Just a moment. Variable bullet or bullet script has not been assigned. So check whether your bullet is there. Check. Go to your off the play mode. Off the play mode. Off the play mode.
Yeah.
Now go to the controller. Go to the controller. Yeah. So bullet is there. So now go to the console. Clear. Click on clear. Yeah. Now go and press play and play the game. Yeah. Now play the game and press that. button, whatever, forward, whatever the button you just kept, right? If it
Yes.
puts it, it keeps on going
Yes.
forward. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yeah, thank you, sir.
Yeah. So we'll have a quick 15 minutes break, like 11:45 we'll assemble. If you have any questions so far, you can ask me. I'll help you out.
If I want to, we want to gun, sir, then how we can post gun
So if you want
from
to,
put gun, sir, from where bullet is coming, sir. In many
yeah,
games,
yeah,
bullet.
yeah. I know. So what we need to do is we need to take the gun model. From the edge of the gun, we will try to generate the bullet. Basically, I'll show you once we completely we will completely build this application. Once after finishing this, I'll try to show. It's a small thing only, because it takes so much time for creating all
Yeah.
this
Oh,
3D models. So I just picked only these 2 to 3 environment models, so that we don't need to waste on time on modeling stuff.
okay, sir. Thanks.
Yeah. So any more questions or doubts? I know this, it might be a little bit confusing and thing, but trust me, this all you need to know is what behavior you need to add for what functionality. That's all you need to remember, and go to the documentation and you'll get all the methods. So suppose you want to use a keyboard, then you need to use this input system. In the input system, which is the button for the get key up. For the mouse, it will be mouse button down, mouse button up. So if it's a mobile, it's a get touch. All these different functionalities are there. So if you have any doubts, please ask me. And we'll have a quick short break for 15 minutes. We'll assemble at, we'll back at 11:45. Okay.